All right, hello. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about the new way to run a $25,000 a month land flipping business in 2026. And this is to consistently hit $75,000 or more per quarter in profit. It is not luck. It's about leveraging a proven framework that works in today's market. This is your roadmap. And this video will be your roadmap to building a lean, capital efficient, high leverage land business that creates real time freedom and real financial freedom as well. If you don't know who I am, my name is Olufemi. I've profited multiple seven figures flipping land throughout my career. I've helped many people create multiple six-figure profit years flipping land, multiple six-figure profit months, and I will have several seven-figure earners within the next 6 months in my one-to-one and group programs. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Something I'm very excited to make because many people do want to just make 25K a month. Hey, how do I just make 25K a month and just have cash flow and be able to quit my job and so on? And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So the old model is dead. There is the traditional trap. Most land flippers chase volume, believing more deals equal more money, and that's just not true. They build massive teams with acquisition managers, disposition coordinators, and virtual assistants for every single little task. The result, they're stressed out, margins are thin, and they're working harder when they had a traditional job. Most people build themselves another job when they start flipping land. It's not supposed to be like that. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly why and how to make sure that it's not like that and it's actually cash flowing for you. But ultimately, the game has changed because of this new approach. And the new approach is a lean, capital efficient model that minimizes deals while maximizing the profit per transaction. And you can run this mostly on your own with no bloated team and no real operational cost. If you're tired of the hamster wheel and want a business that actually creates time freedom and financial freedom, and you're willing to commit to building it right, this framework changes everything. This business model, since I was 21 years old, has allowed me to do what I want, when I want, where I want, how I want, allowed me to travel where I want, allowed me to have experiences that I want. And most importantly, like beyond all the like spending money and being frivolous, which I haven't done, but it's allowed me to have the free cash flow to invest smartly, like make really smart investments in my early 20s to now in my mid 20s is starting to really pay off. And that's what you want. You want free cash flow. So we're going to get into that as well. So in this video, I'm going to talk about your three-part blueprint. One is the profit flip, the math that changes every single thing about how you think about deal volume and profitability per deal. The clean process, why sloppy operators stay broke and how professional systems unlock higher value, highly profitable deals. The lead scoring sheet, the most powerful filtering mechanism that separates winners from tire kickers. The lead scoring is something that most people do not ever figure out. They don't know how to do it. And it's the difference between chasing every single lead and strategically building a pipeline that compounds over time. So pillar one, the profit flip, stop chasing volume. The exhausting math every single person gets wrong. When people hear 25K a month, they immediately think 5 deals at $5,000 profit each. That means 5 acquisitions, 5 dispositions, 5 title companies, 5 closings, and 5 potential headaches every single month. Here's a lie everyone believes. Smaller deals are easier. They are not. Smaller deals are not easier, guys, at all. It takes the same amount of effort to do a 5K deal as it does a $25,000 deal or a $75,000 deal. Same exact title work, same closing progress, same exact title work, same closing process, same follow up with sellers, same negotiation. You're doing all the work for a fraction of the reward. And so when people are like, and I'll get into this, but people will get stressed out and they'll be like, well, should I do bigger deals? I think there's less bigger deals. That is nothing but your self-identity, and it's nothing but how you see the world. You don't see the world as an abundant place. You don't see the world where you can consistently make 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80,000 per deal. And that's one of the biggest problems. That's one of the biggest problems I see with clients when they come to me. They think that the 5K deal is going to be easier, and it's not. It's not. They think, oh, if I just do these smaller deals, if I just play smaller, I'm going to make more money. And that's not true. It's the complete opposite. So here's what we aim to do, and here's what this new model is. It's a $75,000 per quarter target, right? So that's one deal netting $75,000 or 2 deals at 35 to 40K each. And you can kind of divide and do the math there, but it's not many deals per quarter. If anything, it ends up being maybe 3 to 5 deals per quarter. You don't need to do thousands of deals in order to make 25K a month or 75K per quarter in the business. After a while of doing this, you'll start to average 25K a month. So if you're making 75K a quarter, you're averaging 25K a month. At first, this isn't a month-to-month business where you just send out mail and then you send out text messages and then all of a sudden you're making 25K a month. I think that's a myth that people get wrong. And many, honestly, most businesses are not like that either. But the land business especially is not a business where you can just turn on a button or just press a button and then like all of a sudden money starts printing out. There's process, there's marketing, there's a learning curve, there's all of these things that happen along the way in order for you to get to the point where you are averaging 25K a month consistently. However, fundamentally, you need to stop chasing cheap lots with razor thin margins. Start targeting mid six-figure properties, land selling for $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 on the market, and quickly reselling them for high profit. This is not about working less because you're lazy. It's about working smarter. We want to work smarter, not harder, because your time is your most valuable asset. So you don't want to spend time talking to low value people, low value sellers on low value properties that are going to take a long time. You want to spend your time talking to high value people, high value properties with high profit potential. That is a great use of your time. Now, the clean process. Why sloppy kills deals. And this is about building trust at scale so that you can actually go and get these kinds of deals that I'm talking about. Generic mailers that look like spam, inconsistent follow-up, no real branding. When sellers Google your company, they do not find anything, or worse, they find something that looks like a scam. You have lost the game before you even get on the phone with a seller. This is something that most people, about 95% of businesses plus, do not even pay attention to. They don't pay attention to how they're perceived on the internet. They don't pay attention to how, like, what happens when a seller actually calls you. I think a lot of people just think that this is something that you're going to get lucky with. And it's not a luck business. This is a very intentional business. Every single client that comes in to work with me, down to the very wording of their mailer, the wording on their website, I pay very close attention to all of it. It matters. The messaging matters. Messaging is super important. When targeting 5K lots from distressed sellers, you can get away with sloppiness, but $150,000 plus properties, these sellers have options. They're not always in desperate situations, and they're not going to work with people who perceive themselves to be amateurs. So if you look like an amateur and you're not paying very close attention to how your mailer looks, what you're saying in your text messages, how you sound when you call that person, and you have the first sentence out of your mouth, what your website looks like, all of these things are the only thing a seller has to base their opinion off of you. So if you don't make these things look as good as they possibly can look, you are going to lose. So here's the truth about building a profitable pipeline. Everyone looks for sellers who want to sign today. I hear this all the time. Oh, well, this, I just need people that are ready to go now, ready to go now, ready to go now, ready to go now. Some of the best deals I've ever done, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. All these deals, by the way, are on my page, on my YouTube. You can see several deal breakdowns that I have, come from leads that actually take months to close. The seller was not ready initially. It took warming up, it took building rapport, it took nurturing over time. But through consistent follow-up and relationship building, when they were finally ready, I was the only person they wanted to work with. My company was the only person they wanted to work with. And I've seen this in many cases with many of my clients. When they implement this strategy and they understand how to score a lead so that they know how to nurture the lead and follow up with the lead to the point where they get it under contract and they end up closing, you get that deal done 10 out of 10 times. It's positioning. It's high level positioning. Most land businesses, most people are not going to follow up 50 times because you're looking to turn and burn through your leads. You're not looking to nurture and build relationships with your leads. You're not looking to do that. You're just looking to say, okay, I got to get this like now. The greatest investors of all time, if you go through the history, not even in the land business, the greatest investors of all time think long term. They do not think for today. So every lead that comes in, you need to look at that lead as, if it's a quality lead, quality seller, look at it as if it has the potential to make you $50,000 or more, because quite frankly, it does. The thing is, though, most land flippers waste their time. They treat all leads equally. They spend 45 minutes on every phone call, pull comps, drive to properties. And you really shouldn't be driving to properties if you're doing this. But you'll send people to properties and you'll just spend all this time on leads that are not primary. not prime and not ready. And even if they're not ready, you're spending time on leads that are not, they don't have the highest profit potential possible. So it's about knowing how to prioritize your leads. So once you understand how to prioritize your leads, once you understand how to score your leads, it's going to be a lot easier. Now at Landverse, we do have an internal lead scoring system that allows you to know what you're prioritizing, why you're prioritizing it, and how consistently to prioritize it. And if you're interested in getting that and working with our company to build and scale your land flipping business in 2026, feel free to apply with the link below and we'd be happy to see if we can help. Ultimately, when you treat all leads equally, you will lose. A solid pipeline is not built overnight. It's built through time, skill, and strategic prioritization. I actually want to go a little bit into the scoring system. There are a few other factors that we do take into account, but there's 4 factors. So motivation, why are they selling? How urgent is it? Are they problem solving or just curious? Motivation separates serious sellers from tire kickers. And we still nurture tire kickers as well, because there's a reason. I truly believe that every time a seller calls, there's a reason why they're calling. Outside of the fact that if they're extremely abrasive and they just want to call it a prank, most of the time if they're calling and they call with a more of a calm tone and they say, oh, I am interested, but this, and but you offer me this, and so on, we still nurture those people and follow up. It could take years, but I play the long game. I still get people calling us from years and years and years ago. I mean, I call that residual income, because if I sent out a mailer in 2021, 2022, and you're calling me now and you're ready to sell now, that to me is residual income. That was a smart investment I made back in 2021. So it's important to also understand that the more mail you send, the more shots you take, the more chances you have at closing deals for the next several years. The next thing is seller profile. Do they own the property free and clear? Are they the decision maker? Can they actually close? Clean ownership, clean title equals much faster transactions. And then property quality. Is it buildable with road access? What's the terrain, zoning, utilities, situation? You can have a seller with good numbers who wants to accept your offer, but if the property is landlocked and you can't get an easement through an adjoining parcel, or it's unbuildable and you need to build on it, that's highest and best case. None of that matters. So what is the highest and best use? So we always look at that. Like if a property is meant for hunting, rural recreational land, well then can you actually hunt on it? How many times a year do they hunt on it? Is there anything in environmental protection that deems us against hunting on this? Like what are the biggest bylaws that would stop us from being successful with this property? These are all things we think about. Next is profitability. What's a realistic spread? Does it fit your target profit threshold? Property quality is a filter that saves you from wasting time on deals that look good but will not move on market. You score every single lead 1 to 10, and then you prioritize ruthlessly. So the way we do it is A leads and B leads, anywhere from 7 to 10. They get immediate attention, call back within minutes, prioritize above every single thing else. These are the moneymakers. C leads and below, enter the follow-up system with at least 20 touch points over time. Many a times they're 40, 50, 60 touch points. Some leads become A leads through nurturing and follow-up. Once circumstances might change, and that's only if it's one of these 3. So let's say this, a C lead or below can only really become a B or A lead if we change one of these factors. So you can change profitability through really good negotiation. Seller profile, let's say it went through probate. Now the seller profile has changed. Or let's say they called us and they were abrasive at first, but now since we followed up with value, now they're kind of coming around. Motivation can change. They could lose a leg. Anything could happen. The big financial crisis or whatever, then they need to sell. The only thing that is harder to change is property quality. Because let's say it's landlocked and there's no adjoining parcels you can get an easement from, for an example. You can't really change that. Let's say it will not perk and you can't put a sand mound system there. Can't really change that. Let's say it's completely flooded. It's a marshland. It's in marshland. Can't really change that. Let's say the Environmental Protection Agency said that you can't do anything with this property. Stay away from it. It's hazard zone. All situations I've dealt with. Can't really change that. So the 3 factors that really can change over time are these 3. Now, with property quality, it is important to know that you can get an easement if there is an adjoining parcel and you do talk to the neighbors. That's for another day though. So the cash flow reality. Financial discipline always wins, guys. This is so important. When you are in business for yourself and you're making money, this is something that I don't see most people talking about. It's all this flexing, flaunting, and fucking nonsense, quite literally. And I wish that people would just talk about this more in business, because no one does. When you do 1 or 2 deals per quarter, cash flow can get lumpy at first. It absolutely can get. I'm not going to sit up here and say like, oh, if you do this for 4 months and 6 months, you're just going to be a super rich guy. That may not be the case at first. It may not be the case for some. I've had clients come through my program and they, like, the way that they come over that learning curve was just crazy. The way that they do their marketing is crazy. The way they talk to sellers, the way that they're dedicated and committed to this game is crazy. So then they end up having multiple 6-figure months in a row, and they end up just crushing it. That does happen, but results may vary. And so you have to understand, for you, like, cash flow can absolutely get lumpy if you are not, like, complete gangbusters, just throwing everything at the wall. Most people are just not like that. Most people are not hungry like that, honestly. So you also have to understand that there will be months where minimal cash does come in. That can happen. I'm not saying that you're lazy, or I'm not saying that. But there are some people who have 1% of 1% ability and aptitude to, like, go for things no matter what. When I started doing this, I had that 1% of 1% aptitude, and that's why I did it so quickly. Like, within a couple months, I did my first several deals. Within a year of me investing in land, I had low 6 figures invested within a year. So, but I want to talk to you guys about this. This is really important. So, you're going to have periods of time where you make a good amount of money, right? If you inflate your lifestyle with crazy car payments, pricey apartments, subscriptions all over the place, the lumpy cash flow will become a crisis. So, what I see a lot of people do, and what I've seen a lot of people do, is, okay, you make 50K in a month, you make 60K in a month, you make even 100K in a month, then you blow it all. Then you're like, oh, what can I go and buy? What can I go and do this? Because it's almost like you want to reward yourself. You want to reward yourself for the win that you just had. You know, the best way to reward yourself for the wins that you just had, you double down and put it back into the business so you can get more reward. You delay the gratification, you double down, you put it back into the business, you put money aside for yourself. You don't say, oh, cool, I made 80K in a month, I'm the big boss, I'm the man, I'm about to go do this, I'm going to go do that, I'm going to go buy this, I'm going to go buy that. You have to think long term. So listen, if you can make 80K in a month, can you make 80K in a week? If you can make 25K in a month, can you make 25K every week? Well, how do you do that? That becomes the game. So you know how I rewarded myself when this stuff started to happen to me at first, and I was working super hard and I go through the stress of the business. I don't even super celebrate the wins. You know what I say? I say, you know what? If I can make $100,000 in a day, what does that do for my life? What if I can get to the point where I can make $100,000 every single week? What is that going to do for my life? So you double down on that until you get there, and then you even pass it, and then you double down more and more and more and more. So, the way to do that is this: you minimize your lifestyle expenses. You don't have to do this forever, but do this while you're building the business. And for you, this video is about making $25,000 a month, right? So you want to minimize the lifestyle expenses until you can get to the point where $25,000 a month, you're going to make that no matter what. No matter what. You're going to make that from the business no matter what. So you're going to make at least $75,000 a quarter no matter what. Your pipeline is full enough to where you have deals for sale consistently. You have deals selling consistently. You have deals under contract consistently. You have deals coming in consistently. It's like a pipeline. You've now put this thing on a conveyor belt to the point where you are the business is dialed, rolling and turning as it should be. And you know there's not going to be a quarter where I don't make $75,000 or more. Not going to happen. Some months at first might be zero. So you have to think in quarters, not months. Don't get discouraged if you hit March and you guys make 10K or you make zero. Don't get discouraged. What did you do in January and February? Don't get discouraged if you send out mail and then, your pipeline isn't where you want it to be yet. Well, you have to always look, how much mail did I send? What did the mail look like? The leads that came in, what did I do with them? And the other thing too, this is a little side tangent, but understand this. When you go through sellers and talk to sellers and so on, negotiation, I talked about this earlier, negotiation is so important, and 99% of real estate investors do not have this skill of negotiation, especially new guys. I see this time and time again. I'm like, why would you not negotiate that? You are killing your profit because you have this thing in you where you think you're going to lose it and you're scared. You're scared to negotiate. You're scared to make the counter offer. You should never be scared to make a counter offer. Make the offer. If they say no, okay, it is what it is. And then even beyond that, I've had sellers tell me no. And then I've had sellers say, you know what? Actually, let me give you a call right back. I think I need to sell this. And the way that you get people to negotiate, and this is stuff that I go over with clients. So I don't want to go too deep on this, but you always revert back to the pain. What was the reason why this guy wanted to sell in the first place? And was it strong enough for me to really bring that price down? Most of the time it is, but you don't even know it because you don't know how to pull that out of them. So you want to build a machine. You want to stack your reserves, make smart investments, let your money work for you. Upgrade your lifestyle with money that you make from investments, not active income. So if you watch my vlogs, if you have seen any of my personal lifestyle, so on and so forth, Instagram, whatever, all of the things that you see me doing comes from my investment income. It does not come from me saying, okay, we close this deal. Now I'm just going to go blow my money. Because at the end of the day, my goal is to build generational wealth. My goal is to make sure that when my children get older, they don't have to do anything. And I want to make sure that, okay, dad is smart today. Dad makes a lot of money today. And dad is going to be making a lot of money and is going to be smart 30, 40, 50 years from now. But then we're just living off the investments. So you want to get yourself to, and this is why it's so important to make money. I don't understand when people are like, oh, I don't want to make a lot of money. I just want to do this. I just want to kind of relax. And no, you make as much money as you can so you can take care of your family. Make as much money as you can so you can build up your machine, so you can actually start to live off your investments. You cannot live off your investments if you're making 100K a year. You cannot. You have to build up your income so that you can have free cash flows to invest. That's the whole point of having more income. My goal is always to increase my earned and make my earned pretty much zero because I invested most of it. That's what I do every year. And over time, if you do that from in your early 20s to your mid 20s to your late 20s to your early 30s by the time you get to 35, 40, 50 years old, you're in a situation where yeah, it's a great situation. And so that's what you want to put yourself in. So don't get caught up in this thing of like, oh, I got to flex and I got to flaunt and I got to stunt and I got to do this. You don't have to do it. And a lot of it is your ego. And the other thing is, I've seen so many crazy things. So you just want to focus on being financially disciplined. I want to preach that because if you're not financially disciplined, it doesn't matter how much money you make. You make $250,000, you'll spend it. If you make 500 grand, you'll spend it. You make $1 million, you'll spend it. You make $2 million, you'll spend it because there's new devils at every single level. So if you're not smart with your 25K a month, you're not going to be smart with your 25K a week. You won't be. So here's the caveat, right? The 9-month inflection point. This is what happens after about 9 months of doing all three of these things, right? After about 9 months of consistent execution, sending mail, scoring leads, following up, nurturing relationships with sellers, something in the business does shift. The leads you've been nurturing for the past several months begin to mature. Sellers from 6 months ago are finally ready to sell to you. Relationships from quarter one turn into contracts in quarter three. And cash flow, the deals start stacking right on top of each other, and the cash flow becomes more consistent and predictable month over month. That's the compounding effect of doing this correctly. But you see, you cannot do that if you get your first win and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm about to, you can't do that. Not going to work. So delay your gratification, Continue to work hard, continue to follow the process, and you will continue to win. So, what this actually takes. I've had clients close deals within their first 30 days of working with me. The system absolutely works, but there is a learning curve. You will feel confused initially. There's all these things that you have to do and set up, and things that you have to understand with market selection and talking to people you don't know from all different places around the country. And it's new. You don't understand it. You're going to experience moments of self-doubt, wondering if you can actually do this, if you can actually quit the job, if you can actually transition into a new business model, if you can actually scale the business from where you are. And you'll also deal with life distractions that pull away from your focus. This is a big thing. The life happens. And you have to be able to figure out a way to stay focused and make the sacrifices you want to make in order to actually get to the goal. Most people have never operated a real business. They don't know how to manage their time, emotions, or even practice delayed gratification. And when it comes to managing your time, emotions, those two things, emotionality is the number one thing that I see people fail at. Managing your emotionality and managing your expectations for this. It's like if you don't have, you're not going to be able to play at the level that I'm playing at, as an example, because you haven't put in the same amount of hours, shots, and so on. Like for my early 20s, this was me every day. I would get up 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Still do, by the way. I would get up 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I would start making calls on the East Coast. I would not be done talking to people until about 6 or 7 p.m. I would get up one time from that corner. One time. So if you're not doing that, there's no way you're going to get good that fast. So you have to be willing to sit there and grind this out a lot of the time. The first 30 to 60 to 90 days, even beyond that, you have to be willing to sit there and say, I'm going to do this hell or high water. I will be successful. I will get to 75K plus per quarter. I will make multiple six figures in profit. I will make enough free cash flow to be able to make smart investments and put money on the side and not be worried about where my next is coming from. Not be always on the hunt. And there's a lot of guys that show a lot of screenshots and show their lifestyle. And some people try to make it seem like it's overnight. And yeah, I show screenshots and I show what I've been able to achieve through hard fucking work. Don't get it twisted. Everything you see me put out there is from hard work. It's from me getting me deciding to get off of social media at the age of 19 and be off social media from 19 to 23 years old, and sitting there and focusing every single day, not checking social media, not scroll. I was not on social media at all until I was from 19 to 23. So it was about me delaying the gratification until I was like, I'm actually successful at the age of 23. By the time I got back on social media, I was already traveled multiple different countries. I already had, I was doing what I wanted to be doing. I had already made seven figures land flipping. I had already done that. I already had an investment portfolio that I was proud of. I had checked off all the boxes on my list that I wanted to check off. I did. And so you have to be able to, but I will tell you this too. I want to make this super clear because, and this is not supposed to be a motivational talk, but I have to say this because if you guys can delay the gratification, understand that like, man, this is not going to happen overnight. And if I see like, okay, this person is really successful, this person has it, but like, you just don't know what that came with. Like, and I used to think that people were just saying that to me until I really had to sit there and like, man, it takes a different level of commitment and focus in order to get to a certain level. It does. And then once you get to that level, you don't want anybody trying to take that from you. So now even me, now I'm wealthier than I've ever been, but I feel broker than I've ever been as well. Why? Because first of all, it's always someone's always the things that you have to manage as you get bigger is crazy. The things that you have to manage, the people you have to manage, so on and so forth. And then when you start, I've been in certain rooms this year where I'm like, wow, this guy made $3 million last week. So what am I doing? This guy made $100 million. What am I doing? So you get into these rooms as you start to get more and more successful. So you have to push yourself and tell yourself it's never enough. And you have to have that. If you want to run a business, if you want to run this business, you want to really operate the business, you have to tell yourself and push yourself it's never enough. I have to keep going. But it starts with you guys making 25K a month. That's where it starts. And you have to pass that test before you can get to what I'm talking about. So the entrepreneurial journey, do not go this alone. Don't do this alone. Find someone to work with. Seek out people who have done this before, who've already walked the path successfully. Get in communities, learn from people. I mean, I still have a community of several entrepreneurs, whether it be land investors, lenders, real estate developers, guys in other industries, sales guys. I have a wide community of people, entrepreneurs that I talk to on a weekly basis, just about what's working for you, what's not. Hey, where do I find this? Where do I find that? So on and so forth. You have to have help from people. You want to actively seek help as well. For anything I try to master, I want to seek help for it. Don't think that you can do this alone because it's not easy. This is a dark thing. You're making tough decisions. You're facing rejection. You're battling self-doubt. And if you do this alone, it's going to be a very, very difficult path for you to overcome. It just will be. If I had to do this alone with no support in my corner, I don't know that I'll be here if I didn't have the support in my corner that I have. I don't think I would. So this is not about hitting certain metrics. It's about just safeguarding your passion and your potential. You want to just protect yourself because multiple people are going through the same things that you're going through. Multiple people want to get to 25K a month, and you don't have to beat anybody over to get there. You can help people up. You can help people up together. And the most effective way to accelerate your success and maintain consistency is to actively engage with those who have navigated similar journeys as yourself. You don't need to make the journey harder than it already is. It's already hard as it is. So your action plan, the 5 pillars. 1, the profit flip. Stop chasing volume. 1 deal at 75K or 2 deals at 35, 40K per quarter equals about $25,000 per month. Smaller deals are not easier. They're just less profitable. 2, the clean process, professional branding, great copy, great messaging, and sales process to access better deals and higher value sellers who have options. 3, the lead scoring secret, score every lead on motivation, seller profile, property quality, and profitability. Prioritize ruthlessly and implement long-term follow-ups with 20 plus touch points. 4, financial discipline, think in quarters, minimize lifestyle creep, build assets. After 9 months of consistency, your pipeline matures and cash flow becomes predictable. 5, the mental game. Stay consistent through the learning curve, self-doubt, and distractions. This is the build wealth with time business. I want to emphasize that. Land flipping is the build wealth with time business. I coined that phrase. Anyone else says it, I said it first. Build wealth with time. We're building wealth with time. We are not getting rich quick. You want to build wealth with time. You get rich quick, it'll always leave. I was trying to find somewhere to rhyme that, but getting rich quick will always leave you quick as well. You build wealth with time. It takes time. It's going to be a long time for that wealth to leave you. So if you found this video helpful, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to like the video and subscribe as well. If you are interested in getting help in building a $25,000 a month profit and beyond land flipping business in 2026, feel free to apply the link below. I'd be happy to help you build, grow, and scale your land flipping business in 2026. And I'll see you in the next video.